p.m. and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
And that's a go on for what's a go on.
Every dream conquered is another dream game. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction. 'Cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people that I say we are Marsh of the night. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't fit it dark. Shine your lights on. Hey, what I want?
Hi, I am Candy Pang.
What a go on.
What a guan?
That a go on for.
What a guan? What a guan?
What a one! Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
And that's a go on for what's a go on.
The old adage often says certain people were born to do certain things, and this man was born to be a swimmer. On that day, November 8, 1962. His name, Alan Roy Marsh. He started out his career at the YMCA, and then while attending Jamaica College, he became an outstanding performer. He led his school to several successful championship honours.
I really developed as a swimmer under Paul Ingram at the Y Speedo Swim Club. What was great about JC in those days was that not many of our swimmers swam for swim clubs. They all swam at JC only. And we were able to compete with the best teams, Campion, the Woolmers, St. George's, and so forth. We were able to compete very well with them, despite not having the all year-round club swimmers.
It was during his teenage years that he became a headline maker in his specialty events, backstroke and butterfly. And it wasn't long before he was wearing the national colours on the global stage.
Representing Jamaica was always a great thing. I started representing Jamaica when I was about 10 years old at the age group level. Went to what they call the CC Can Championships in Colombia. Then I competed at the age group level, CC Can in Colombia, Dominican Republic, in Venezuela. Then I moved to the senior level.
Fan Central Extra Time is brought to you by the Pepsi Football Nation, where fans make the rules. Football, better with Pepsi. We also want to thank Digicel. Turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. Courts, bringing value home. Mothers, love in every bite. Regency Petroleum Limited, the real price leader. And Just Bet Goal Rush. Watch all the games on the biggest screens in the Caribbean.
Silly Billy. Nobody tell me about your team and them that make the semi. Game sweet, girl, I call it Sugar Daddy. CVM TV, for everybody. When the Lala gonna have to full up, match link up, Fan Central full up. Me team win, every bad cover lift up. Them a silly billy, me carry real bad team that a illy billy. Now bandwagon to the thing, now bother switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty gritty. School, silly billy. Now bother tell me about your team and then
So the full-time whistle has gone and we're now into Extra Time. It's time for your favorite show, Fan Central Extra Time. And of course, it is powered by our friends at Pepsi, Digicel, and our official food sponsors, Mothers. I'm Jordan Fort, and of course, as usual, we take tactics seriously on this program. So that's why we have the tactician, Jermaine Thomas, alongside. Of course, Jermaine is the current head coach at Malines United and McGrath High School, and a coach with the National Under-20 program. And of course, he brings a wealth of experience and coaching knowledge to our set. Later on, we're going to be joined on Zoom with someone who has World Cup experience. Brent Sancho represented Trinidad and Tobago at the World Cup in 2006 in Germany and also served as Minister of Sport in his home country of Trinidad and Tobago. So he knows about football on the pitch. He knows about sport off the pitch. We'll also be joined by former FIFA referee and past JFF referees instructor, or referees, head of the referees department, that is, Victor Stewart. And tonight, we'll be starting our prediction challenge. Each of us on Fan Central Extra Time will predict the winners and scores for the next day's matches. And we'll be keeping score, meaning we'll be keeping a tally of who gets what right and who gets what wrong and who tallies the most points. And we also invite you to get in on the competition. We're going to tell you a lot more about that, but send us your predictions to our DM, CVM_television, of course, on Instagram and Facebook, and you might be in with a chance to win some prizes. So here's how the scoring system will work. Whoever picks the correct winner will get 2 points. Any person who predicts the correct score and the winner will get a bonus 4 points. So that's a maximum of 6 points that you can get for the prediction challenge game. Now obviously, if you get the winner wrong, then no points will be awarded. That's 0 points. And we're going to dribble right into a review of today's matches. By the way, that match between Netherlands and Morocco is still on. It's in extra time. It's a second match to go to extra time today. But before we get to that, it was a late show between Brazil and Japan and Germany and Paraguay today. Brazil overcame the samurai blue of Japan, but it was Germany who were left feeling the blues as they lost to Paraguay and went crashing out of the World Cup. Yep, big team Germany. Gabriel Martinelli was the star for Brazil, scoring what was the latest winning goal in normal time of the knockout stage of a World Cup game on record since 1966. Do you know who won the World Cup in 1966? Yeah. That was England's World Cup in 1966. For Germany, though, no such luck. They trailed Paraguay after Enciso scored in the 42nd minute. Kai Havertz equalized in minute 54. And then Germany thought they won it in extra time through defender Jonathan Tah, but it was ruled out after a review for a foul on the goalkeeper, the Paraguay goalkeeper. And then they missed 3 penalties. Yes, the Germans, that's right. Missed 3 penalties, believe it or not. And Paraguay missed 2, but they held their nerve in sudden death to knock out Germany and advance to the round of 16. And then, the game that's ongoing between Morocco and the Netherlands, we saw an emotional Cody Gakpo score for the Netherlands to put them on the brink of progress to the round of 16. But guess what? Morocco equalized. And that game is 1-1 in extra time right now, approaching the end of the first half of extra time. So, of course, we want to get feedback on the games that were played today. Coach Jermaine Thomas, no better person to bring in to give us the feedback than Coach Thomas. Coach, Brazil, hearts in mouth today all over Jamaica because you yourself are a Brazil fan, but many Jamaicans are Brazil fans. And when they saw Brazil trailing Japan 1-0, it was nervy stuff. They came back, overcame a spirited Japan unit. I know it's a Japan unit that you rather like as well. Your thoughts on that game between Brazil and Japan?
Tactical battle. It was a master game, I think, by Japan. They were very, very organized, and I'm a stickler for organization and structure. And they were organized. If they were mid-block, line 2, etc., they were organized. The low block, towards the middle part of the game, towards the back end part, they kind of fell off a little bit. When the game went 1-1, I'm thinking Japan could have been a little bit more braver, but instead they sat deep, too deep for my liking. And when you're in the low block, if the body orientations are not right, if you're not shifting quick enough, then you're going to get in trouble. And they were spending a lot of time, expending a lot of energies, burning up energies, of course, sweeping from left to right. Brazil took over the second half and started squaring the ball. On the other hand, Brazil in the first half started out moving the ball slowly. Japan backed off, gave them their defensive third to use the ball. But however, in Brazil got into Japan's defensive third, then they were moving the ball slow. If you know the second half, they picked that up and they started moving the ball quicker. That was when they started getting some more success. Japan, on the other hand, in the first half, they created a brick wall in the central areas of the pitch, blocked them. Brazil was unable to penetrate. When Brazil was able to get numbers in the central areas, that was when they started giving trouble. And for me, Vinny was good. But Japan, I thought, lost it when it went 1-1. They sat behind a little bit too deep. I thought they should have pushed more, confronted Brazil a little bit higher up the pitch, and probably would have been different.
Yeah, so a couple of things. I'm looking at the top statistics here, and Brazil, the ball possession heavily in favor of the Brazilians, 69% to Japan's 31%. So that feeds into what you said, Coach, about the fact that the Brazilians really dominated, the Japan were pushed back, especially the entire second half. But I want to ask you about the first goal conceded by the Brazilians, because again, fingers were pointed at Casemiro and his lack of recovery speed to get back to the Japanese goal scorer Sano. And Sano with a really good strike, it must be said, from outside the box. But it was a giveaway from Brazil in the first place. And then Casemiro, who was at the time actually on a yellow card already, again it comes up, it just doesn't seem to have the legs. Jamie Carragher had the famous rant, no coach, leave the football before the football leaves you. And it looked at that point like the football had left him, as Carragher said famously, but he just couldn't get back.
Because he kept on following the ball. So the ball kept on pulling him, and he was going higher and higher up the pitch. Now, in their build-up phase, Brazil had both wing-backs out wide, both centre-halves would have, of course, been on the left and the right, some amount of space between them. Casemiro started pushing high, following the ball. All right? They were coming out on the right-hand side, and then the wing-back committed a cardinal sin, a square pass, and it was easily intercepted. It caught Casemiro high. And for the life of me, I was expecting Casemiro, being that he was on a yellow card, just to be a little bit more reserved, sat a little bit deeper, and then play from behind. But instead, he was playing. But the wing back gave away the ball. It was a square pass, and it's hard to kind of knock him. But I was still expecting Casemiro to kind of anchor the middle of the pitch a little bit more, sit a little bit deeper. He never did that. Hence, he had to cover a lot more distance. And speed at his age is not really one of his better friends. So he paid for that.
Yeah, obviously we have the fan corner coming up a little later on, and Rashida is there with a Brazilian fan, by the way. Going to be bringing in Rashida in a short while just to opine on some of what we saw today, and especially, of course, because she is a fan of Germany. But we're not going to get ahead of ourselves just yet. I want to ask you one more question about Brazil, because we want to dive deeper into the tactics a little later on. One other question though. Carlo Ancelotti, coach, he always seems to find the magic touch. Brazil trailing 1-0 at halftime. I just wonder what that team talk would have been. And then he introduced Endrick, which, Endrick has become a meme in this World Cup, because people are saying that whatever Endrick wants, Ancelotti doesn't want. Remember, Ancelotti was his coach at Real Madrid. He never played him really. He had to leave Real Madrid and go on loan to get game time playing for Lyon. And now he comes back to Brazil and Ancelotti is the coach, and he's not getting much game time. But he threw him on today, and then he threw on Gabriel Martinelli, who found the magic touch. The first goal was they overloaded the left side, Vinny's side, and then a cross coming over to Casemiro. He headed it in, and then Martinelli found the winning goal. What was the thinking behind those substitutions that worked so effectively for Carlo Ancelotti? So
Ancelotti wanted width, and he wanted the ball speed to improve. So I'm just imagining him going inside the dressing room at halftime. He's going to be hopping mad, because they were pedestrian at during the first half, really slow. And you saw second half when they came out, a lot more purpose. But he pulled out one of his central midfielders, injected the kid. He went inside and then provided width
That's Hendrick.
Along with Ryan on the right-hand side. Now, if a team is defending in low block, once you apply width, it is going to cause issues for them because they would have to, if they're not swiveling across quick enough, then they are going to be in trouble. Hence, when Brazil created a numerical advantage on Vinny's side and then pull the entire Japan team on that side and then switch the ball over the other side, the wing back and Ryan had acres of space and time, and that created a problem. When they saw the first goal, they swung to this side. Casemiro, from a holding midfielder position, moved inside the box. Now, the two centre halves there would have been occupied by Hendrick. Martinelli was injected as well. He was now playing in the off space between the wing back and the centre half. So the next centre half would have to be paying attention to Martinelli.
Coach, I want you to go deeper into that particular piece of tactic a little later on, but I want to talk to these statistics. As we said, heavily in favor of Brazil, as you expect. 19 total shots, 7 on target for Brazil, just 5 shots for Japan and 2 on target. And look at those final third entries as Brent Sancho joins us. As we said, a man with World Cup experience himself. Brent, when you look at those final third entries, you see where the pressure really mounted from the Brazil team, and you just eventually you thought that pressure would tell, and it turned out to be the magic touch, the magic change from Carlo Ancelotti, Gabriel Martinelli off the bench and into the headlines, finding the winner for them. What were your thoughts on how Ancelotti used his substitutes to create an impact in the game?
Well, I think whatever his salary is, he certainly earned it tonight. His changes certainly impacted the game in the second half, his halftime speech as well. His tactical changes as the way Brazil played. Obviously, ball speed and width was the possible main topic in the dressing room at halftime. And they got that. And a lot of credit goes out to Ancelotti. And I think one of the things that, we talked about the changes that he's made. What about the change he didn't make? He didn't take Casemiro off, and that you have to give him credit because he showed a lot of patience, and that comes with experience. And he was able to understand the fact that with Paqueta coming off, he kept that the Caberes and of course Casemiro, although he didn't have a particular good game in the first half, it's his pivotal goal and his ability to get in the box. The understanding is with the width, they wanted to get more balls into the box. That pegged the Japanese back a bit, and we all know how good Casemiro is in the air, and then it was game on from there. So, yeah, Ancelotti, a lot of credit for what he's done. As I said, yes, the changes he made, and also the changes he didn't make.
Yeah, and of course, we've spent a lot of time on Brazil. Brazil, by the way, Brent, is a favorite team of almost 90% of Jamaicans. So I don't know what it's like in TNT. But that's why we spend so much time on Brazil. But we want to take a break because we have to talk about, obviously, Germany, Paraguay, and Morocco, Netherlands. So we'll get back to that when we come back from this break. Fan Central Extra Time. Stay with us. We're having lots of fun.
Everybody cover, lift up. Them a silly billy. Me carry real bad team, not a illy billy. Now bandwagon to the thing, now bother switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty gritty. School, silly billy. Now bother tell me about your team and them to make the semi. Game sweet.
Welcome to the Pepsi Football Nation.
Rule number 1, it's called football, not soccer. Rule number 2, they should get rid of VAR.
No. Every decision should go to VAR.
Write this down. Pepsi should be the official drink of the nation.
I love that. They won't agree on anything.
That's where Rule 100 kicks in. Everything gets settled on the pitch. What about you? What rule would you want?
Could I drive out fresh in a MG ride with a staycation, all inclusive flex? Yeah. Heart of Jamily cash. Yes. Smart TV, PS5, and home upgrade.
Turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. Sign up or switch to postpaid or Digicel Plus. Buy a SIM. Top up with 5 bills or more. Buy a 7-day plan or higher. A smartphone deal or just pay your bill. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion period June 24 to September 5, 2026. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions.
Welcome to the Pepsi Football Nation.
Rule number 1 is called football, not soccer.
Rule number 2, they should get rid of VAR.
No. Every decision should go to VAR.
Write this down. Pepsi should be the official drink of the nation.
I love that. They won't agree on anything.
That's where Rule 100 kicks in. Everything gets settled on the pitch. What about you? What rule would you want?
It's game on at Quartz. Spend $150,000 on credit purchases or $250,000 on cash at Quartz from May 1, 2026 to June 20, 2026 to be automatically entered for a chance to win one of 3 smart TVs to watch the matches in style. First place gets a 98-inch TCL Smart TV. Second place a 55-inch. And third place a 43-inch. Score big and upgrade your game day vibes when you shop at Quartz, bringing value home. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply.
Every dream conquered is another dream gained. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction, 'cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people never say we are Marsh of the night. Don't stop dreaming, keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance, song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't fit it dark, shine your lights
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Carry real bad team, not a illy-billy. No bandwagon to the thing, no bother switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty-gritty. School life, silly-billy. No bother tell me about your team and them no make the semi. Game sweet, girl I call it sugar daddy. CVM TV, for everybody. When the Lala go net off, full up. Match link up, fan central full up. Me team win, every bad cover lift up.
Alrighty, welcome back to Fan Central Extra Time, Playbook Time, where Coach Thomas gets very excited, gets a chance to go into his tactical breakdown. And as I said before the break, we're talking a lot about Brazil versus Japan. Of course, Brazil overcoming Japan to win 2-1. What about Germany versus Paraguay? Germany suffering a shock exit from the World Cup on penalties after a 1-1 draw with Paraguay. So, this is a setup for Germany versus Paraguay. Coach Thomas, you take us through what each team did in this contest.
Well, Germany pretty much was the aggressor for most parts in terms of they concentrated all their attacks predominantly down the left-hand side. It bore some fruit. We'll be going there shortly. But Paraguay, on the other hand, was operating in a line two for most parts of the game. The central areas were, of course, blocked by them. They were very aggressive in these areas. And when they're in the low block, just the same, they were really, really aggressive. But they got caught in defending in the low block. Wirtz picked up the ball on the left-hand side. There was absolutely no pressure. He managed to take a couple of steps inside with the ball and then fired it an in-swinger. When the in-swinger came in, Havertz, being the prolific player he has always been, met the ball just in the vicinity of the penalty spot. So he met the ball here, and a faint touch of his head landed in the far post because the ball came in with some pace. But take note, please, that Paraguay never sat and lay dead. They played and they were very aggressive. They never hesitated in playing through the lines, and they transitioned as quick as possible when they needed to. But Germany was the enforcer. They pushed them back, but Paraguay kept their shape nonetheless and continued to block the central areas.
Yeah, and it proved fruitful for Paraguay when they scored first, and of course the Germans had to actually come from behind to equalize. But there was a particular moment for Germany I thought they can feel hard done by, because they had a goal from Jonathan Tah in extra time that was ruled out by the referee after a review. The video assistant referee probably told him to take a look. There was a foul on the goalkeeper, or he was adjudged to have fouled the goalkeeper. It was the substitute, Anton, who was adjudged to have fouled the goalkeeper for Paraguay, and that goal was ruled out. So we're taking a look at it now, Coach.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate. One of them tactical ploys employed by some coaches and set-piece coaches, of course. But the mistake made here was that contact was made with Tah and the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Normally,
with Anton.
Right, Anton. No, normally the goalkeeper or the defender that is creating the screen or standing there, we normally ask them not to make contact with the goalkeeper, because once you touch the goalkeeper, the referee is going to blow. So he wanted to create a shadow, wanted to create a screen, but contact was made, and then Tah was left at the back post. Because what he did, he went there to kind of distract him and of course blocked him from going to the back post. And I thought that allowed Tah to be free-headed, hence why the whistle was blown, because contact was made.
Yeah. Well, guess what? We want to talk to Victor Stewart, of course, a former FIFA referee, about that a little bit later on. So we do have that particular foul on our radar. This is a look at it now on screen. There's the defender, that's Anton, on the goalkeeper. So he's adjudged to have created contact here. Now, you know how the video assistant referee thing works and how the review works. It tends to look a little bit worse when you see it frozen like this. It's frozen like this. When you see this picture, this almost looks like Anton creates the contact. When you see it in live play though, the goalkeeper's back was actually turned to Anton initially, and he turns around, it almost looks like he creates the contact. So it must have been a kind of the referee having to decipher who creates the contact here. But I think, as you said though, it was just a matter of the referee being harsh on any contact on the goalkeeper. Now we've seen where, for example, in the English Premier League, they've allowed this type of thing, and many people have criticized Arsenal for taking advantage of this and saying that it should be fouls and whatever. But IFAB, FIFA here, and the referees obviously instructed to be very harsh on any contact between the defender and the goalkeeper, and that was the result. So as I said, Victor Stewart can give us more of a perspective a little bit later on when he joins us, but those are the pictures on screen of what we were just describing, Coach. We want to get into the Brazil contest. Brent, I want your thoughts though, before we get to Brazil, in terms of the tactical breakdown. What are your thoughts on that foul that was called and the goal being overturned for Germany?
Soft, exceedingly soft. I thought it was Germany would feel very, very hard done with that call. As you rightfully said, in full speed, it's definitely an extremely soft call. Goalkeeper Gill sold it as well in his actions. And yeah, I really thought it was a disappointing call, simply because as much as you talk about contact that could impede it, I don't think it was enough there to call a penalty. So I do think it was a very soft call.
Yeah, I really do. I think Germany can really feel a little bit disappointed by that. I mean, after that, though, they had the opportunity to obviously win it in penalties. But the penalty shootout, as we know, is a luck of the draw thing, Brent. I was surprised, though, because growing up, I always heard the Germans don't miss penalties. I was surprised that they were that bad from the penalty spot.
Well, I believe they have 4 penalty shootouts, and they've won in the history of the World Cup, and this is the first time they've ever lost by the penalty spot. And it's amazing. If you looked at the scene right before, I think Tah's kick, I believe the captain Kimmich was up. He looked like he was asking who wanted to kick, and I think more than half of the line was saying no. So that just tells you the pressure that's on it in those sorts of situations. we have to give a lot of credit to Young Gills, the 6'6" goalkeeper. I thought he was outstanding. Some of the stops that he made was just absolutely outstanding for a goalkeeper, and you have to give him credit. And I think Germany came up against a goalkeeper that was in tremendous form from the penalty spot.
Yeah, certainly you have to give Paraguay a lot of credit. Those are the stats from the penalty spot. Of course, Kai Havertz stepping up first and missing for Germany, and that put them under pressure immediately. But Joshua Kimmich, the captain, stepped up, put his penalty away, and Musiala put his own away. But they were still always behind. You know, I guess luckily for them, Paraguay missed 2 penalties back to back, and then it was even heading into the sudden death. But again, Germany missed in sudden death, and Paraguay, they were able to hold their nerve, and then they came away winners via the dreaded penalty shootout. The last time I checked, the game between the Netherlands and Morocco, that seemed to be heading to the penalty shootout as well. I don't know if anything has changed just yet, but that is what we get at this stage of the competition, Coach Thomas. You have to be ready to go to penalties, right?
Yeah, going to be difficult because this is a round of 32. Kind of shocking to see some results, but guess what? Football has evolved, and federations are spending a lot more monies on their teams, on their youth teams. You would have seen Morocco, their under-17 team being champions. They have done well at the Olympic stage, and under 20s they would have done well as well. And then you would have seen their 18-year-old central midfielder. He's a product of their youth system, not necessarily their youth system, because he came through, I think it was France, or one of those teams, and he's here now. But nonetheless, it is different. The teams are playing, they are braver, the coaches are doing better, and more high-profile coaches are finding themselves in different parts of the world, and I think countries are benefiting from that as well.
Well, Paraguay benefited from Germany's demise today. Brazil beat Japan to make it to the round of 16, and Morocco and the Netherlands are heading to penalty kicks. So a second penalty shootout for the day. We're going to take a break on Fan Central Extra Time. When we come back, it's time for the fans to get involved. Stay with us.
Me team win, everybody cover lift up. Them a silly billy. Me carry real bad team, not a illy billy. Now bandwagon to the thing, now bother switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty gritty. School, silly billy. Now bother tell me about your team and them to make the semi.
Welcome to the Pepsi Football Nation.
Rule number 1 is called football, not soccer.
Rule number 2, they should get rid of VAR.
No. Every decision should go to VAR.
Write this down. Pepsi should be the official drink of the nation.
I love that. They won't agree on anything.
That's where Rule 100 kicks in. Everything gets settled on the pitch. What about you? What rule would you want?
Could I drive out fresh in a MG ride with a staycation all inclusive flex? Yeah. Heart to Jamily cash. Yes. Smart TV, PS5, and home upgrade.
Turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. Sign up or switch to postpaid or Digicel Plus. Buy a SIM. Top up with 5 bills or more. Buy a 7-day plan or higher. A smartphone deal or just pay your bill. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion period June 24 to September 5, 2026. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions.
Pull up, me team win, everybody cover lift up. Them a silly billy. Me carry real bad team, not a illy billy. Now bandwagon to the thing, now bother switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty gritty. School, silly billy. Now bother tell me about your team and them to make the semi. Game speed, girl I call it sugar daddy. CVM TV, for everybody.
All right, welcome back to Fan Central Extra Time. It's time for everybody's favorite part of the show. It's time for Fame or Shame, where we get the top 3 picks from one of our co-hosts who think they know ball. This time, it's not the madman Kimani O'Sullivan, but guess what? It's a German fan, so she's been singing the blues. Her name is Rashida Murphy. Rashida, what do you have for us in Fame or Shame?
Hi, Jordan. So tonight, I came with vengeance in my eyes to, redeem myself, because the other day everybody hated my picks. But tonight, there's nothing to argue about. I have great picks. At number 3, we're going to go with Bruno G from Brazil. He has been one of the best players at the World Cup. He's not necessarily banging in the goals and getting all of these incredible highlight moments, but he's been putting in the work for Brazil, and it pains me to say he's been good, but he's also top at the assist record in the World Cup. He's at 4 assists. That's really incredible for him moving forward throughout the tournament. He's the type of player that you want in the team. When things get bad and things get rough, he can get those wins, and he's been doing that for Brazil, and he was one of their best performers for today. In number 2, I'm going to go Julio Enciso from Paraguay. He has been incredible. Also one of the players, Jordan, that has been underrated throughout this tournament, because again, he's not scoring the illustrious goals, but when he does score these goals, he's showing his quality. Can't wait to see him in a Chelsea jersey, by the way. And number 1, it's going to be Jose Canale of Paraguay as well. He unfortunately sent Germany home with his penalty kick. What an incredible moment for him to step up for his country. And so I think he was also, a monumental moment for him, which allowed him to be one of my best players of the day.
All right, well, guess what? Can't argue with that. And you were unbiased. That was a good thing, right? You didn't yield to temptation and maybe put Kai Havertz in there because he scored. Then he missed a penalty,
maybe if it was my shame pick. Yeah, Kai Havertz, Manuel Neuer, Jonathan Tah. Should I continue?
I mean, Tah was unfortunate, I think, because I think Tah had a good game. I think he had a good season for Bayern. He had a good game today. He thought he gave Germany the win, but it was overturned by the referee up on review. So gonna say bad luck to Jonathan Tah. I wouldn't put him as a shame pick. But let me start with Coach. What do you think of Rashida's top 3?
They're not bad. 2 Paraguay players from Paraguay. Yeah. I thought they were impactful and did well. I thought Vinny, to me, was good today.
Yeah.
He was extremely good and a lot of successful dribbles.
Almost scored. I know that doesn't count.
He was good
in the goal scoring stats, but almost scored and gave Japan a lot of issues. And then because of the overloading on his side, is how Brazil got their equalizing goal, right? Through Casemiro.
Yeah, I thought he was good. But not bad. I'm just a little bit taken aback to see that. I mean, knowing that she's always biased towards Germany. I mean, but for once tonight.
Yeah, unbiased pick. And she actually wore her Germany jersey. So I give Rashida a lot of credit for that as well.
No shame.
Because listen, no shame in her game. It's fame or shame. But for her, there was no shame in her game.
No shame.
There she is.
Still proud of
Show us the Germany
I
press.
have no shame, Jordan. Sorry,
All right, big up yourself. Number 1, second German fan. I wondered briefly if we could get the German fan that was crying the last World Cup and saying he was a real fan and stuff. I know we got him for the show before.
Right.
Maybe I forget him to come back, right? Because boy, many tears must have been shed today. Brent, who were your top 3 players today, and what did you think of Rashida's picks?
Yeah, no, obviously some good picks. I would have stuck Orlando Gil, the goalkeeper for Paraguay, in there as well. First for selling the foul against Anton, which drove the game into penalty kicks. And his saves in the penalty shootout is the reason why they've gone on. So certainly one, I agree with Coach, with Vinny Jr. I thought he was quite good today. Obviously outside of what Rashida has picked so far. But those 2 in particular. And if he could throw a coach in there, I would put Carlo Ancelotti in there for the changes that he's made and the impact that he had in the game, because at 1-0 Japan lead at halftime, you just couldn't see a way back for Brazil, but of course Carlo Ancelotti came up with the goods.
Yeah, he's a man who always finds a way. He does it for Real Madrid, did it for Real Madrid many years, and now he's doing it for Brazil. Let's see if he finds a way to lead them to another World Cup. Victor Stewart is here with us, and I'm glad because we've been making a lot of mention of that particular incident between Germany and Paraguay, and Anton, the defender, fouling the Paraguay goalkeeper, and Jonathan Tah's goal being overturned upon review by the referee. So Victor is a former FIFA referee and, of course, the former head of the JFF referees department. So Victor used to train referees and perhaps still does. Victor, what were your thoughts when you saw that particular incident leading to Germany's goal being overturned?
All right, I'll break it down. Good afternoon, everyone, viewers and panelists. I'll break it down in two parts. I think Coach Thomas got it right in the first instance when he mentioned that one of the toughest jobs of the referee at a corner kick, once you make contact with the goalkeeper, then it's easy for the referee to make a call. Most people in the football world will buy a contact on the goalkeeper. What I am concerned about in this case is what is the impact of the contact in this situation? Because the contact, as Thomas quite rightly said, was initiated by the number 12, which is the goalkeeper. What I'm looking at here now is that Anton is not looking at the ball. So he is imposing himself in the pathway of the goalkeeper so that he cannot move sufficiently in order to make a save. However, the trajectory of that ball took it so far behind the far post, and by then, before Tar could have headed the ball, the goalkeeper would have been released by Anton. So, in truth and in fact, I personally think that the contact didn't have an impact and the goal should have stood, even though there was contact. If the referee had blew the whistle initially, immediately when that contact was made, I'd be okay with it. Yeah. But the ball haven't traveled that far, and the release was made. The header was out of the pathway of the goalkeeper. The contact didn't prevent the goalkeeper from making an attempt.
That's what I thought, Victor, because I thought when he was supposedly blocked off, and of course the goalkeeper, he sold it. He flopped so that he could get the call. But that's fine, because contact was made. But he was never going to catch the ball at the first attempt, right? So that blockage didn't affect that. And when the ball was headed back by Tar, he was not being blocked at that point. He was on his feet, he was there, but he was never getting to that header from Tar. It was just a pinpoint, brilliant header that I don't think that the previous contact had any impact on him getting. I'm glad you said it, Victor, because I'm not a referee, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I saw. Yeah. That's what I saw. And I'm in Rashida's corner. I'm a German, but I'm not biased in this case in any way, shape, or form. Sorry, Rashida, that's how it goes for us all the way. But it's the fact, it's the reality. There was contact, there was absolute contact. But the contact, what we look for as referee is impact. Holding, for example. If you remember 1997, Jamaica going to the World Cup with Keanu Whitmore, he was held by Tom Dooley. Those of us who are old enough to remember that holding. But he continued and the referee allowed play the goal. He got off a weak shot, but it was a foul. Yeah. So if there is no impact with the contact, then the referee should not blow for a foul. Well, in this case, I think the goal should have stood.
It's a pity you're not there and you're here and they're there making those decisions. We're going to take a break on Fan Central Extra Time. By the way, 2-2 between Netherlands and Morocco in the penalty shootout. We're going to keep you up to date on that. Let's take a break. We'll come back with some more.
CVM TV for everybody.
Welcome to the Pepsi Football Nation.
Rule number 1 is called football, not soccer.
Rule number 2, they should get rid of VAR.
No. Every decision should go to VAR.
Write this down. Pepsi should be the official drink of the nation.
I love that. They won't agree on anything.
That's where Rule 100 kicks in. Everything gets settled on the pitch. What about you? What rule would you want?
nation, all inclusive flex. Yeah. Heart of Jamily cash. Yes. Smart TV, PS5, and home upgrade.
Turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. Sign up for Switch to Postpaid or Digicel Plus. Buy a SIM. Top up with 5 bills or more. Buy a 7-day plan or higher. A smartphone deal or just pay your bill. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion period June 24 to September 5, 2026. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions.
It's game on at Quartz. Spend $150,000 on credit purchases or $250,000 on cash at Quartz from May 1, 2026 to June 20, 2026 to be automatically entered for a chance to win one of 3 smart TVs to watch the matches in style. First place gets a 98-inch TCL Smart TV. Second place a 55-inch. And third place a 43-inch. Score big and upgrade your game day vibes when you shop at Quartz, bringing value home. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply.
Nobody tell me about your team and them that make the semi. Game sweet, girl like sugar daddy. CVM TV, for everybody. When the Lala gonna have to full up, match link up Fan Central.
To Fan Central Extra Time, and we can tell you that Morocco has progressed to the round of 16 of the World Cup after dispatching the Netherlands on penalties. So the penalty, the dreaded penalty shootout, has taken another big scalp, another big European scalp. Germany falling by the penalty shootout, and now the Netherlands, who were so sparkling in the group stage, falling at the hands of Morocco in the penalty shootout. Anyway, Brazil, as we told you, has like 3.5 million fans in Jamaica out of the population of 2.8 million. And I mean, I know why, but I just think that people should think outside the box and not just, stick to just Brazil just because their parents used to support Brazil or something. But anyway, we have somebody in the fan corner who thinks they know ball and who think they are really a Brazil fan. So we're going to test that knowledge. And Rashida is not going to take it easy on them because guess what? Because Germany went home today, she wants some revenge on these Brazilians after they progressed to the round of 16. Rashida, who do you have for us?
Hi, Jordan. So you're saying people should be like Kimani and support Belgium?
Not Belgium. You have to make a better pick than Belgium. Right. But just not Brazil.
All right. So here with me in the fan corner tonight. I'll allow you to introduce yourself to the people at home. What's your name?
Hi everyone, my name is Darian Dice.
Dice. We have some very interesting names coming into the studio. Jordan?
They're not like Mashkan though. Nothing as interesting as Mashkan, but Dice. Yeah. Let's see if he will roll the correct numbers on those.
So you're in the hot seat. Let me know how much of a Brazilian fan are you, or if you're just, bandwagoning with the rest of the world. All right, so my first question to you is, who is Brazil's all-time goal scorer and how many goals?
Oh wow, that's a tough one.
Yes, it
so
is.
all-time goal scorer, definitely Pele. In terms of the number of goals, that one, I don't want to guess, but I don't know that one off the top of my head for sure.
The all-time goal scorer is actually Neymar with 79 goals. Shockingly enough,
Not
yes.
shocking actually. I wouldn't say shocking at all.
I'm letting my biases roam here. All right, so I'll give you an easier one. List the goal scorers today and the minute that they scored in.
All right,
that should be easy.
Yeah, so first goal would have been scored by Casemiro. I know we've talked a bit about that on the show so far. Second half, I think about the 54th minute, 55th minute, somewhere thereabout. And then, of course, you can't forget the winning goal from Gabriel Martinelli, Arsenal player, mind you. I think that too, is really a testament to. One of the things I've observed throughout this competition, I think Arsenal players have consistently showed up.
It's like to be the main character, I see. All right, you didn't do so bad. This one is pretty easy. What's the nationality of Carlo Ancelotti, which I think the whole world knows? What's his nationality?
Ancelotti, wow.
You don't know his nationality?
No, I don't.
You
actually.
don't?
I'll give you a hint.
Jordan.
I'll give you a hint, Dice. He's not Brazilian.
And his country is also not at the World Cup. But you don't know Carlo Ancelotti is.
Is he Italian?
Yeah, he gives Italian.
Yeah.
He gives grumpy old Italian. All right, so let me make it a little bit easier. The last time Brazil won the World Cup, the exact month, date, and year.
Oh wow, month,
Yes.
day, year. Okay. So it would be July. Day. Wow, the day is gonna be tough.
Okay.
I think July 2002 was the last one that we won.
So it was actually June 30th,
June 30th, 2002.
Before my time, by the way.
Gotcha.
I know a lot of Jamaicans would not have witnessed Brazil actually winning the World
so
Cup.
the last day of June.
All right, so for you know, so tell me, based on what you've seen so far through the group stage and now to the round of 32, what is your expectations for Brazil?
So you want the realistic answer?
Please do, because I can tell you mine. You guys are going out in the next round.
Oh no, that's not gonna happen. Absolutely not. So I'll put it like this. I think realistically coming into this tournament, you know, one of the things that I've looked at, the general age of the squad, you know, the form of the players, all of these things.
Right.
You know, at the beginning I would have said, hey, you know, we're getting to the quarterfinals, the semifinals.
Okay.
I think right now, I think coming out of the group stage games, I don't think we are where I would have wanted us to be in terms of how we're playing as a team. I do think that is improving game over game. Right now, I would say we're at least getting to the quarterfinals, but I want to put some teams on notice.
Right.
And I believe that the longer or the further we make it, the bigger a threat we become, because one, we've been without Neymar, for example, the entire tournament. I think, you know, it was a split decision taking him to the World Cup. I know a lot of Brazil fans also, you know, wanted João Pedro there, that sort of thing. But I think the closer he becomes to fully match fit.
So you are putting your hopes and dreams for Neymar to magically get better. I mean, he is.
No, he's back in full training now. He didn't play today, but he gave us 20 minutes.
But
in the
is that what
game.
Brazil's whole journey is depending on for Neymar to?
If we want to win the World Cup, Neymar has to be able to contribute. I don't think without Neymar contributing, we're going to be able to win the World Cup. So we do need Neymar in that squad. We do need to integrate him slowly. We need him back to 100%. And I believe with Neymar at 100%, anything is possible.
If Neymar is your hope, Dice, I'm sorry to say this is where it ends, because I don't see what world Neymar is going to blossom into his 2018 version.
No, we don't need the 2018 or even 2014 version of Neymar. What we do need, and that's the thing, I think Brazil right now, you know, with Vinicius playing, you know, it's a shame that Rafinha has been injured. Right. But the way that Vinicius has been playing this tournament, and we saw that link up with Neymar and and Vinicius, the previous game prior to today. If that clicks and that chemistry continues to evolve, I think Neymar playing a little bit deeper and creating chances for Vinicius running in, you know, getting in behind, I think that's going to be a very, very dangerous duo.
And you're backing Brazil all the way if they say meet France, Argentina, Colombia. Those are the teams that you're looking at as.
Yeah, Colombia, I'm not too worried about. I think the Colombian team is great, mind you. So don't get me wrong there. I think France and Spain, Argentina are very good squads. I'm not going to tell you that it would be an easy game for us. I'm not going to be delusional, you know. But again, I do think we have the quality. It comes down to one, you know, the tactics that we go into those games with, and that's where I really have a lot of faith in Carlo Ancelotti as well, because he has proven time and time again to get that right. And even today we saw, you know, the evidence of that in the substitutions that he made. You know, bringing in, trusting Hendrick, one, which I was a little bit shocked at that decision, but we saw where, you know, that created some life, and the game moved faster. We moved the game better, quicker, and then of course, you know, with Martinelli coming in. So I do trust Ancelotti. I think we can take it.
In Ancelotti, he trusts. All right, Dice. We see that you really do have a lot of faith, and we hope your faith is not wasted on this Brazil team. By the way, so Brazil would be on a collision course with England for the quarterfinals. In the next round, they'll face the winner of the Ivory Coast versus Norway game. So it could be Brazil versus Erling Haaland. Let's see, who gets the better of that contest. I'm not suggesting that Ivory Coast won't win, but then there won't be a collision between Brazil and Argentina until the semi-finals. So that's good for Brazil. I know you mentioned some of the teams that you may fear. France is on the opposite side, so they wouldn't meet until the final potentially if Brazil gets there. But there's still so much to go before Brazil can get to that stage. I want to bring in Brent here. Brent, obviously the 5-star team, Brazil, 5-time winners of the World Cup, haven't won it since 2002. So as Rashida said, young people like her would not have witnessed Brazil ever lifting the World Cup. They're trying to return to that former glory. Based on what Carlo Ancelotti has done today, pulling a Houdini, do they look like the type of team who can probably pull a few more tricks out the hat, get all the way to the final and win it?
No, it's not going to happen. There's just too many deficiencies in the Brazil squad. The middle of the park is a big question mark for Brazil. That relationship between Paqueta, Gomes, and of course Casemiro really is something that has struggled and plagued Brazil throughout this tournament. And I just don't think with that particular scenario rearing its ugly head every time we see Brazil take the park. And it's going to be only a matter of time before that's found out and it's done and dusted. As much as I'm a supporter of Brazil, I just don't see it happening for them.
Yeah, and by the way, Coach, I want to get your thoughts on that. By the way, just confirming that Morocco will play Canada in the round of 16. So that's the matchup that has been set based on Morocco beating the Netherlands on penalties. Brazil, though, since we have Dice here as a Brazil fan who's exhibiting a lot of faith in his team. Right. Based on what you saw today, as I said, they had to pull out the great escape. With Carlo Ancelotti at the helm, do they now look like a team who, you might say, yeah, they can actually win this?
They're getting better as they play, and that you can't deny, all right? But as mentioned earlier, there are deficiencies, and they have been having issues from the qualifiers. They just seem to can't find the chemistry between the three central midfielders, and Casemiro wants to go sometime, Gomes wants to go sometimes, and then it creates this huge space inside that is left right before the centre halves. And once you saw Morocco with that space, what they did with their two central midfielders and the kind of chaos they created and caused for Brazil. So I'm thinking if Ancelotti can find some chemistry and some balance there, and then both three central midfielders can understand their roles, then they have a couple of days to fix, and once they continue to do it with Vinny in the form that he is now, and you saw Ryan and Hendrick coming on, the two centre halves, to me, competent kids. But guess what? The World Cup demands a lot more organization, so it is going to come down to Ancelotti and his decisions.
All right, World Cup just start, them say no. When a big team goes home, the World Cup has started. It's the first knockout stage, and Germany and the Netherlands have been sent packing, so the World Cup has officially started. Let's look at the brackets now to see how these teams are lining up. As we told you, Brazil getting the better of Japan 2-1, so now they'll face the winner of the Ivory Coast and Norway contest. So that should be very, very interesting to see who Brazil goes up against. And then, of course, Mexico, Ecuador coming up tomorrow will face the winner of England versus the Democratic Republic of Congo. Again, looking to see how far the English go and whether the Mexicans will overcome Ecuador. Argentina and Cabo Verde. Cabo Verde breaking hearts right throughout the World Cup. Uruguay not advancing from that group. It was Cabo Verde who, with 3 drawn results, are into the round of 32. Australia, Egypt, Switzerland, Algeria, and Colombia, Ghana. Any of those stand out to you, Coach Thomas? Where could we see another one of these upsets? Is it possibly Cabo Verde knocking out the GOAT, Lionel Messi?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Some more qualities.
You think the Cinderella story ends here for
Yeah, man. I just don't think so. I mean, Argentina will show up. They're smelling blood. They did it 4 years ago. And I'm thinking that with Messi in his element and waltzing around the pitch and then popping up and scoring some goals that he's scoring, I mean, he's going to have something to say.
Could it be DR Congo beating England then?
No.
No. Resounding
no. No.
A resounding no from Coach Thomas. Brent, are any of those games standing out to you as one to look for as a big team going home?
Yeah, I may go against Coach Thomas here because I'm looking at the England team and I'm watching some of the injuries that pile up. They've been a bit disjointed. They've relied heavily on individual moments of brilliance, Harry Kane and Bellingham in the last game, and DR Congo has shown that they can defend well, very similar to Ghana, but I think they provide a more potent offensive transitional threat. So that's a game to look out for, and it'll be interesting to see how England deals with it. Yes, they are overwhelming favourites, but who knows?
All right, let's see the other side of the bracket now, which I mentioned earlier. That's the side France is on. They've been marauding this World Cup, but we've seen where teams who have been marauding have still gone out. This is actually the other half of the bracket. Well, it's the other side of the bracket, correct? So Germany losing to Paraguay in penalties after a 1-1 draw, and of course Paraguay will face the winner of France-Sweden. Very interesting there. Of course, the reward you get Paraguay for beating Germany is a possibility of facing France. Canada and Morocco already set, as I told you. Portugal, Croatia, that one is going to have a lot of eyes on it. Spain, Austria, Spain coming in as pre-tournament favourites. Of course, Spain, the 2010 champions. USA versus Bosnia and Belgium, Senegal. Coach Thomas, which big upset is lurking here?
Portugal, Croatia.
Well, that wouldn't even be an upset, would it? You mean Croatia beating Portugal?
Remember, persons are talking about
Portugal as potential winners.
Yeah.
Croatia.
And this would not be one of the better Croatia teams. Yeah, so Portugal would have been ahead. I'm thinking that an organized Croatia unit can stop Portugal. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, based on what I've seen and how mechanical they can be when they want to be. I think they can get past it.
Okay, so Portugal, Croatia. So you don't think Austria will send home Spain?
Austria's organization is something else, and you saw them in the preliminaries, how organized they were. Spain, on the other hand, tend not to transition so fast, to kind of use and keep and then move. That will give Austria a lot of time to get back and set up, whether it will be low or medium block, and it might just bring Austria into the game somewhat, I'm thinking.
All right, well, I'm going to go back to Brent, but I want to get Rashida and perhaps Dice in on this one as well. Any one of those stand out to you? Would Senegal beating Belgium be considered an upset, by the way?
You know, we were just discussing that as well.
What are you saying there, Rashida?
Yes, Senegal is my African team, as persons would have known, and I'm looking forward to them knocking out Belgium. Can I just go back to the other side of the bracket? Argentina and England are going home, but on this side of the bracket, I think teams have the opportunity to show themselves and show up. Mexico is looking like a tournament favorite going deeper into the World Cup with the home crowd behind them. Argentina, although I want them to go home, Jordan, realistically, they're going to get the better of Cabo Verde.
Oh, you've gone back to that side?
Yes, so we'll go back to the other side of the bracket now, where France is at, and I think France cruises their way to the final of the competition.
Whoa, Rashida, you got far, man. All the way to the final, you reach already?
Right.
They have several hurdles to cross before they get there.
An upset on the other side, I would say, would definitely be Portugal, Croatia. I think they have to
hold on, when you say upset there, you see, that's why I'm confused.
So Croatia
You think Croatia beating Portugal?
Yeah, because a lot of
You think that would be an upset? Would that be an upset?
No, because a lot of
I don't think that's
talks are Portugal as favourites.
Well, that's true. That's true. Well, I don't even agree with that. But at the same time, to Dice, Croatia is a team that has shown their quality.
Right. They've really showed up,
right?
Yeah.
Agreed. And I think if we look at the way Portugal has played this World Cup, I think there's a lot of opportunities within the team, in a sense. I don't think they know what the best 11 is. I think a lot of the decision making is a little bit questionable from the coach as well, in terms of the teams that he feels. Rafael Leao, for example, you know, for the life of me, I can't understand the limited minutes for him. I think usually he looks to create something when he plays, but he's just not getting that opportunity. I won't even go on the Cristiano Ronaldo topic. I'll leave that one for the fans, but I think overall, Portugal has a lot of issues they need to solve for. From an upset standpoint, if we go back to the other bracket, I think for me, you know, that game for Senegal and Belgium, I know Kimani won't like this, but I do not see Belgium advancing past that game. You know, I think the Senegal team has been, you know, it's been a tough tournament for them, but the way Belgium has played, you know, I don't think, you know, they're gonna advance much further. They don't take the chances very well at all. I think the way they create, it's very repetitive as well. And they struggle against the low blocks. We saw that in the first 2 games of the group stage where they struggled to score. And so I don't see much coming from that team.
All right, nice. You're a Brazil fan. We're going to give you a chance to win this basket as we close the show, courtesy of our sponsors, Pepsi. The question is, which player won the Player of the Match award in that Brazil game against Japan today? Which player was named Player of the Match?
So player of the match today, I believe it to be Bruno G.
They actually robbed it from Bruno to an undeserved player.
Bruno did not win?
He did not win,
No
I'm
way.
sorry to say.
Casemiro.
He did his Man U thing where he played horrible, scammed a goal, won man of the match.
Yeah, and he's, by the way, on his way out of Man U, right? To play with Lionel Messi, right?
Yeah, he's going to Inter
Miami, right? So, but sorry about that. We still have this basket, and then we'll allow our fans to get a chance to win this basket. We'll probably pose a question on social media for you to get the chance to win this gift basket courtesy of Pepsi. Well, that's going to do it for Fan Central Extra Time for tonight. I want to say thank you to everybody. Thanks to Coach Jermaine Thomas, of course, Dice, and Rashida in the fan corner. Thanks as well to Brent Sancho on Zoom and the former FIFA referee, Victor Stewart. Thank you to our sponsors, Pepsi Football Nation, where fans make the rules, football better with Pepsi, Digicel, and our official food sponsors, Mothers. Join us tomorrow at 10 p.m. for more Fan Central Extra Time. Until then, I'm Jordan Fort, thanking all of you for being with us tonight. Back with you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.
When the Lala go net fi full up, match link up, Fan Central full up. Me team win, every bad cover lift up. Them a silly billy, me carry real bad team, not a illy billy. Now bandwagon to the thing, now bother switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty gritty. School silly billy, now bother tell me about your team and them na make the semi. Game speed, girl I call it sugar daddy. CVM TV, for everybody.
Time was brought to you by Pepsi Football Nation, where fans make the rules. Football, better with Pepsi. We also want to thank Digicel. Turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. Courts, bringing value home. Mothers, love in every bite. Regency Petroleum Limited, the real price leader. And Just Bet Goal Rush. Watch all the games on the biggest screens in the Caribbean.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, former DPP condemns controversial segregated graduation decision by Ascot Primary School. Recently elected councillor in the Savlamar division reportedly tenders resignation from the PNP with immediate effect. Kingston's mayor challenges government's claims about funding for road repairs. And in Small Biz Big Dreams this week, we'll highlight a new app linking customers to verified garages and modernizing Jamaica's auto service industry. In sports, Brazil advanced while Germany's 2026 FIFA World Cup campaign ended by Paraguay.